Okay, last question. What is your opinion of Kanye West's current mental state?
Ooh, that man need help. The shit that I mean, he's just burying himself. I don't know what the fuck the purpose is. Maybe if I had Kanye money, I wouldn't give a fuck neither. But this cancel culture is very real, and there's certain groups of people you do not want to fuck with because they're going to end everything you got going on, and he's fucking with that group, a couple of them groups. So it's like, I don't know, bro. I'm not gonna talk about what he's saying, if I agree with it, if I disagree with it. I ain't trying to fuck with them people, but he needs some help, obviously. And it's like, who the fuck can help somebody that's that rich? Because they're gonna look at it like, why would I listen to you? You know, like would you take fitness advice from a fat motherfucker? That wouldn't make sense. Would you take financial advice from a broke motherfucker? Like, it wouldn't make sense. So it's like, who can he really take advice from? Like, they gotta be, I'm assuming, on his level. I think he's what, a billionaire now? So it's like he's gonna have the persona that he's a genius. He's on this high pedestal. Is he even willing to listen to anybody? I don't know, bro. I think he's lost in his own mind. But that's what makes him him.
I think a big part of the conversation that's being had now, though, and in particular when we had this white nationalist dude, Nick Fuentes, on the podcast to talk to him, and he's a huge Kanye fan, and he said that that we got into it arguing about whether or not what Kanye's been doing and saying is just his genuine beliefs versus him going through some sort of like mental crisis. That's my perspective, is that he's going through basically a mental breakdown, and then he's got people with these right-wing ideas about George Floyd and about the Jews, and they're basically like saying all this shit to him, and he's open to it, and he's just sort of out here like parroting their talking points on behalf of them.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. There's just a lot of shit going on. Like, it's just like, you speak on certain shit, you're done. You know what I'm saying? From Kanye to Andrew Tate to, I guess, Sneeko even now. You touch on certain topics and you're out of there. And it's like, you can't even really give your opinion on things without risking the same thing happening to you. You know what I'm saying? So if he wants to play it off as a mental thing and he needs help, maybe it is. You know, maybe it isn't. Maybe he said some shit and that's kind of being the excuse that's tossed around because people know that there's a lot of money to be made, especially with fucking with him. But it seems like he's digging himself a grave right now.
Yeah, because I mean, the level of cancellation that he's dealing with right now in terms of like Balenciaga and American Apparel not wanting to fuck with him, I mean, it's way beyond anything that he's experienced beforehand. Even Adidas, who he's been kind of trying to break off his relationship with them, but they announced that they are placing their agreement with him under review. You know, he's just really poking the bear in a situation that he's probably going to regret, even though I think a lot of this is just going to prove to him that he was right about everything all along.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if he's at a point where like he can't even spend the amount of money that he has, that might play a part. But I don't know. Like, look at Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson had everything, lost it all, and he said that's when he was at his happiest moments, was when he had nothing, because there was no fakeness, there was no fake friendships, there was no, everything became authentic when he had nothing, and then now he's made it back, but he's made it back with a different mentality. So maybe Kanye just needs to find some fucking humbling experience. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely going to be putting the screws to him. They're going to be putting as much pressure as they possibly can on him. Everybody is going to be being pushed to not fuck with him. Like, you know, if you're Rolling Loud and you book him for a headlining slot, they're
gonna be on your ass. They're gonna hold you accountable for everything that he said, and that's the thing, is how fucked is everything now, and then is anything repairable? Because if he can't fix anything that he's done, and that just goes to show like another example of how our society is transpiring. You can get canceled and there's no forgiveness for what you did. You know what I'm saying? And that's a dangerous thing. Freedom of speech is essentially gone.
Not to put it on Rolling Loud or anything, but it's just like if they were to book him to headline a Rolling Loud, there's going to be activist groups who are trying to paint it as if they just are having fucking Adolf Hitler, perform headline in a Rolling Loud. Like, there's just going to be a crazy amount of pressure for probably the duration of his career, at least until he kind of like backpedals on some of his more extreme statements. And it's funny I mentioned Rolling Loud because they are pissed off at him too because he pulled out of headlining a recent event, which they've never had a headliner pull out before in the history of Rolling Loud. So he's definitely making a lot of enemies in different areas of life.
Yeah, you saying that just reminded me of something. Trap Lord Ross made a post on his Instagram calling Kanye Yadolf, and he said that he wanted to make that the new slogan for Kanye. So we're gonna see if Trap Lord Ross gets that done. But I don't know, bro.
Wow. I could see that catching on.
Up. Yadolf, right? Like that could a whole hashtag like. Shout out to Trap Lord Ross that he's the originator. So
because that's what he's trying to do to everybody else. He's trying to take Tremaine from Supreme and rebrand him as Tremendez and just be like clowning him all the time. So I think Yadolf would actually be pretty appropriate.
Trap Lord Ross.
Genius. All right, 1090, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for giving me your time. And let's do this again soon.
Definitely.
Appreciate you, dog. This 1090J clip is from a Patreon exclusive interview that we did. So you can go check it out by supporting us at patreon.com/nojumper or onlyfans.com/nojumper.